I went around to pre-K and K, as well as the fourth graders, and asked them about whether or not they were alive, whether or not they woke up this morning and are eager to celebrate. And they all said yes. How about the rest of you? Yes. Are you awake? Yes. And eager to celebrate? Yes. Well, we want to now talk about the Word of God, because that Word of God is so important to us, isn't it, huh? 2 weeks ago, I wonder if you remember that, I celebrated the liturgy, and I had a poster board on this side and on that side. And on the poster boards were written some words. I wonder, those of you who have a good recall, if you remember what those words were. You don't have to tell me now, but just try to think. Anyway, this week, I have only one poster board, and I'm wondering, those of you who have a good imagination and have heard the gospel, I wonder what you think I have on this poster board. I'm going to remove the top layer, and something's going to come up from the gospel. What do you think it is? No raising hands. Just think about it. Think about the gospel and what I have. Now, what I want you to do is to go to the person next to you. You may stand up and whisper in the ear of that person what you think is on this board. Adults, I ask you to do the same. Please stand. To the person next to you, whisper in the ear what you think is on this board. Not loudly, whisper. Okay? Just one person. You may say it. Thank you. Now let's see if you guessed what I have on the poster board. I'm not going to take it off right away, but let's review today's gospel. We have Jesus together with his disciples, and we have a man who is deaf and dumb. Dumb meaning he cannot talk, he cannot speak. So, what Jesus does, he takes him on the side, and he sticks his finger in his ear, and then he has some spittle, and he places it on the lips of the person. Now, the man who was deaf and could not speak began to hear and also speak. That's the gospel. So in view of that, yes, I wonder if you thought of this. Can you all see? All right, Fred, this is your moment. Frederick. Now, Frederick is coming around, so you take a good look. Yesterday, I spent some time drawing. Everyone listening, I'm presupposing that you have good ears to hear and to listen. I've exaggerated the ears because of the gospel. The man was deaf, he could not hear. Jesus then healed him, and he was able to hear as well as to listen. So let's talk about that, hearing and listening. Those of you who say you can hear me at the present time. Raise your hand. Okay. Please put them down. How many of you are listening to me? Okay? Put your hands down. Hearing and listening are different, right? Here is the sound that comes through the ear canal. But listening has to do with doing what you hear. In other words, it's very possible to hear something and allow it. Please come forward, you're just in time. You see, when we listen and hear, put it up, please. There's something that happens right here. These are the brain lobes, in case you were wondering what that was. Not hair, but brain. Well, anyway, what we hear somehow has to connect with the brain, with the mind. Otherwise, what happens is, instead of going this way, it goes this way. Hearing something in one ear and out the other ear. And we don't listen. Thank you, Frederick. How about putting it back there? So I ask you, in your home, I'm talking about listening. That means doing. Do you listen to your mom and dad or guardian? That means that you do what they say to do. For example, they say, I want you to go and empty the garbage right now. And without any hesitation, you go because you've listened. You've heard what the mom and dad said. Now you're listening, you're going to do it. In the classroom, where you spend much of your days now, do you listen to your teacher? Not just hear her or him, but listen. In other words, the teacher is speaking, and your mind, your brain, and your ears are connected. And you hear and do what the teacher says. Or are you like some that I know? Not in the Greenwood, of course. But there are some. When the teacher in the classroom is speaking, they want to be heard. And they want to be listened to. So what they do is they tempt the person sitting by them to listen to them and not to the teacher. I've heard that happening. I hope it doesn't happen here in Greenwood in your own classrooms. But listening and hearing, you see the teacher has much to teach. Good. And if you don't hear and listen, then what happens is you're losing out. And you're wasting your time in the classroom. How about Mass in church, as we are now? How about hearing and listening to God? Yes, you may say, well, I can't hear God. I can't see God. But God speaks to us at every time we have Mass in His Word. And so, when He speaks through the sacred scriptures, that's at the beginning of the liturgy, there are readings, right? Then God is speaking. He's telling us what He wants of us. So we are to not only hear, but also to listen, to do what He wants. So I ask you at this time, in case you have become deaf to hearing and listening in the home, in the classroom, and in the church, that you would want your ears to be opened, okay? So I ask you all to stand. Take a hold of your earlobes. The earlobes are the fleshy part, the soft part, with both hands, one on each ear. We want to hear on both ears, no? Got them? And repeat after me. Lord, open my ears.
Lord, open my ears.
So that I may hear you.
So that I may hear you.
And listen to what you want.
And listen to what you want.
Unlock my ears.
Unlock my ears.
When they are deaf.
When they are deaf.
To your word.
To your word.
Let me hear those words.
Let me hear those words.
Be open.
Be open.
Stick your finger in my ear.
Stick your finger in my ear.
And say those words to me.
And say those words to me.
Which you said to the deaf man.
Which you said to the deaf man.
Be open.
Be open.
You may sit. By the way, I told you that I was drawing yesterday. I made this up. But I had the help of someone. And I want you to guess who it was. I'll give you some clues, but you have to listen attentively. First of all, he wears a Franciscan robe, brown robe. Wait a minute, there's some more clues. He teaches art. Put your hands down, please. Wait a minute. And his name begins with P. Oh, you guessed it already? Well, listen, I want to tell you something else. He modeled for me yesterday. In other words, I did those ears looking at his ears. Now, sometime today, when you see Brother Patrick, without being noticed, go around him and just look at his ears. Okay? Amen?